If you're a millennial, you might have forgotten that the VMAs are still a thing.
You don't have to be rich and famous to have a bangin' art collection, but it helps.
Hey, we're all looking for extra cash. If you need some money, just sell nothing like this Italian artist did.
Soup's on, or in this case, off? But if it's not soup, what is it?
From Southern California's largest paint and sip studio, Spotlight with Purple Easel.
Welcome to Purple Easel Spotlight, where we put the spotlight on artists and creatives. My name's Latoya.
And I'm Meagan.
And we're both art instructors here at Purple Easel, the world's largest paint and sip studio. Woo. And we have a lovely, like always, episode about some maps and whatnot. It'll be a pretty fun episode. But Meagan, what's going on with your life? And your hair is purple? No, it's blue.
Bluish.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this was kind of the plan all along, because I just wanted to have some fun.
Yeah.
And it's mostly okay. Execution is in, because I did it myself. But yeah, we'll try it out for a while and maybe switch it up at some point. But I love this like super dark. It's really pretty.
Yeah, no, I do like that very much. I low-key like the ombre though.
It was something, it's cool.
You're like, I'm working with it.
I'm getting used to it. Okay. It's a big departure. So, but other than hair dye, I decided I want to try to make some extra money.
Okay.
So I want to pump out a few like Halloween-y fall paintings. Maybe try to sell them. Toya, there is a reason I do not do structural paintings.
But it's looking so nice.
They take so long.
Oh, yeah.
So long. But this is just a small part of the overall painting, so there's a lot of work to do still. But most of the time as an artist, you're like, all right, it's okay. Or maybe you'll get that'll do.
Yeah.
But after I put the lighting on in this one, I was like, yes, nailed it. And so I just wanted to share because it was a proud moment.
No, it's really like it makes you want to see what the rest is. You know what I mean? It's such a teaser.
I feel like the rest of the painting is going to be an epic disappointment in comparison.
I want to so badly see. I'm like, ooh, what is it? What's happening? A building
right now. The light is lit, so that's what we got.
That's all we can ask for.
But it took me so long because all of these straight lines, and I had to get the ruler out and the triangle and like all this stuff. I'm like, this is way too difficult.
I wonder how big this is. Is it like...
It's one of ours.
Oh, okay.
16 by 20. Okay. So this is just one section of it. And overall, I think maybe the proportion of the light is off for the post, but whatever. I'm proud of this part.
Yes, I am too.
It looks good. It looks glowy.
Yeah, no, it looks really, really good. I'm very proud of you.
I am too. And it's like, there's so few times where I'm actually like, yes.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of them lately. Is this one? And then I was doing a painting here just to submit, see if it'll make it onto the calendar, but it got like a drip on it. And I was like, what do I do? And Haley's like, you could try to color match it or just go over it. I'm like, I just really like what was happening right here. But I was able to color match it and you can't even tell. And it was on like snow. Oh. So it was white and blue and purple and like, I'm just...
Gotcha. Nice.
Yeah, I've had a couple good moments lately. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Nice.
What about you?
Well, so I left early today because I was like, hey, I'm going to get to work early. I don't know. I always try to just do that. And I forgot all of my rings, but my engagement ring. But it made me think about, actually was your class on Saturday? Yeah, with the one with the clouds.
Oh, yeah.
So we were cleaning up Megan's class, and then I see this big kind of like titanium man's wedding ring, right?
Yeah.
And it was left here by the sink, and I was like, oh, like there was some people up front, so I grabbed his ring, and then I was like, oh, is somebody missing a ring? And the guy's like, oh, it's me. And I remember I was like, oh, I was helping him earlier. He's a real cool guy, and
oh God.
And then his wife got mad, like, you forgot your ring. And I was like, oh no, like I'm trying to defend him because I was like, it's worth paint. Like we don't wear our rings here because it's paint. Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, I understand that, but you forgot your... And I was like, and I slowly backed out. I slowly backed out. I was like, the Homer Simpson.
Just fade out.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want none of that smoke. Anyway.
Yeah, I was just picking off some black paint for my ring. I need to scrub it. My dad actually got me one of those little electronic cleaners, which is awesome because the one time I went to get my ring cleaned before the wedding, that's all they did. They just dropped it in the little thingy, and I was like, "Oh, I could do that." So that's what I asked for Christmas, and I got it. And I've yet to use it, but it's time, I think, because I've got some paint in there. But yeah, I didn't wear it for forever here, at least before we got married. And then it was insured, and then I was like, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But my husband takes his off all the time, but he wears a necklace, so he just sticks it on the necklace. Like when he bowls, even though he's bowling with the other hand, he feels it move, and it makes him like, oh no, I'm going to drop it. Yeah. So
fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Nice. Rings can be replaced. I mean, I love my ring. Don't get me wrong. But it's a thing.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But that was funny. That is funny.
Well, so into some music news.
Yeah.
So like I was saying earlier, if you are a millennial, and we are, I did not remember that the VMAs were a thing until it happened. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Is it even about music videos anymore though? Or just music in general?
Well, kind of. From like some of what the awards are. Sometimes it's like new artists and other things that
I remember back in the day, it was just about videos.
Yeah. Well, you know, there was some
nobody
old
cares
artists
about videos
that kind of brought back some of the old schoolness of the VMAs. I think. So Meagan Thee Stallion, she also got some awards, but she hosted the VMAs. And here's some highlights. So Eminem performed his song Houdini, and he picked up 2 trophies that night, which gave him the most of any male artist like in the history of the VMAs.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's cool.
Taylor Swift took home 7 awards, but this bumps her up to 30, and she's tying with Beyonce now.
Oh.
I know. I'm like, oh. Sabrina Carpenter won Best Song Espresso.
Right
as
on.
she should. But Chappell Roan won for New Artist, and her performance, Good Luck Babe, was fire, literally.
Look at all the fire.
Exactly. So, yeah. A lot of people have been talking about this performance.
Well, a lot of people have been talking about her. She's everywhere lately, including here on all our playlists now.
Yeah, so big shout out to Chappell Roan just because everyone loves her. And I don't know, everyone's been talking about her performance. All her theme was very like medieval-ish, which was really nice. And she like comes out on stage and she's got like a bow and arrow, but the mechanical one. That I can't think.
Yeah. Crossbow.
Yeah, there we go. Crossbow.
Yeah.
Turns back, sets the like stage on fire, and everybody's like, whoa! And then she starts singing.
Fun.
Yeah. And then they got like swords, and it's, I don't know. Everybody.
It sounds like something I would do.
Yeah.
Let's go medieval. Why not?
Totally. I liked it. I liked it.
She's given some Joan of Arc vibes.
Yes. I think that was it was like Joan of Roan. Wait, they were making a thing.
Oh, I like it. Okay. Roan of Arc.
Yeah, there we go.
So silly, but it's great. All right. Speaking of famous people, the Dean collection is now moving to Atlanta, and it just celebrated the gallery opening. It features over 100 works from Swizz Beatz, aka Kasim Dean, and Alicia Keys' personal collection. It's only about 15% of their total pieces.
Really? They have that much art?
They have that much.
Well, that's cool.
That's cool, right? And they're sharing it. It's not just like come to my house and see my art if you know me and you're cool enough. But like they're putting it out there for the public and supporting a lot of Black artists because they have tons of really cool work. And I think it's awesome. And they're just touring around. So they're now in Atlanta, and I think they're planning on going worldwide as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be touring every few months.
That's really cool to see art. When you brought up like Johnny Depp, and then we were talking about, Kevin Bacon / Jim Carrey. If you don't know what we're talking about, if you look at our like little video of Jim Carrey, it looks like Kevin Bacon.
The thumbnail is.
But you know, I didn't know that so many people had so much art in their home. Like I know we do because like
Obviously we do.
Yeah. But I didn't know so many more people like had really nice fancy.
Right. I mean, there's like the collectors, right? I just think of them on just they're just a different existence. Because that level of curating a collection is just so far beyond me. But I mean, you can support artists $20 at a time. Like we all sell little prints and this and that. And so I think always surround yourself with art, things that make you happy. But super cool on them for sharing with the public some of their pieces.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yes. And also
Because of this guy.
yeah, that's true. In other art news, this Italian artist Salvatore
Garau?
yeah.
I don't know.
So he auctioned off an invisible sculpture for $18,000, and it's literally made of nothing. So if you wanted to sell some stuff, just sell nothing, and there's your money right there.
But somebody bought it?
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God.
It is a work that asks you to activate the power of the imagination. Well, yeah, no.
Really?
No. So the artwork is titled I Am, and he says it finds form in its own nothingness, adding, the vacuum is nothing more than a space full of energy, and even if we empty it, there is nothing left, according to the Hinsberg uncertainty principle, that nothing has a weight. Therefore, it has energy that is condensed and transformed into particles that is into us. Okay.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No.
But the audacity. It's just, dude's got some cojones.
Yeah, no.
And it worked out for him, so it's only positive reinforcement.
Yeah, it is. Oof.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can do this again. How many of nothing did you
Limited edition.
Oh.
I can't.
I thought this which is better, the banana on the
That's what I thought of too. I mean, at least that's something though, right?
Yeah, it's something.
And you can take a picture of it. And we all know the banana with the duct tape on the wall. Like, this is...
I can have that right now.
It's right here.
Yeah.
It's right here. We
can have
have
that
this really special, we've secured this sculpture.
You can't see it, but there's an invisible
It's
box.
there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Well, to wrap up our news, this is kind of a biggie. Campbell's Soup is removing soup from their iconic company name after 155 years.
Oh my gosh, you know what? This was clickbait. So Bob, my mom, I call her Bob, she was like, Joyce Ann, because we have no names. The names that we were given are not the names we call each other. But she's like, Joyce Ann. I'm like, what? Because we were in different rooms. And she's like, Campbell's is changing its name. I'm like, what? I don't like that. But I guess she read a headline that said Campbell's. So they're not changing their name. They're just removing
they're
the
getting
soup.
rid of soup. My dad told me about it, so that's really... I was like, oh, this is perfect. Send me the link. And so, they're getting rid of just the thing that says soup, which, to be honest, how many Campbell's cans do you actually use as soup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Tomato. I hate chicken noodle because I'm weird and I don't like it. And I'll do like the ABC soup.
Yeah.
But everything else just goes into a casserole or goes into something else. So I kind of get it. It's not used as soup for the most part.
This is true. And I honestly,
it begs the question, what is it then?
Oh, this is kind of like the hot dog is a sandwich kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And I told my dad, he's like, well, it's just cream of mushroom. It's creamy and it's mushroom and it's a base you use for other things, but it's just cream and mushroom. It doesn't have to have the soup.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like low key. I don't think I would look at it and look at it specifically to say soup on a,
Right.
you know, so that's fine. Like I don't think anyone's going to pay attention or know.
And honestly, they're keeping all of the iconic branding, like that nice red and white, like we see in Warhol's work. It's just not going to say soup anymore.
All right.
Yeah,
That's fine.
soup sauce. And now,
The episode.
for our interesting things, we're going to learn a little bit about cartography today.
Ooh.
And for those of you who are not familiar, cartography is essentially the art of map making.
Man.
Now, I will preface this by saying the map world is very extensive, very deep. I had to wade through a lot of information just to get kind of the bare bones. This is the thing people obsess over.
Okay.
Trains, maps, like they go deep. And so there's a lot of information. And it is generally a written record. So we have archives, you know? So I'm going to kind of walk us through a little bit of map history. And I don't even know how to say this name, but I think it's Eratosthenes.
Oh, that was good.
Something
Yeah, we'll
Greek.
go with that.
And it was the first man who really coined the term geography.
Okay.
And this is basically 276 to 194 BCE. And he also figured out that what the size of the earth is. He did some math and he figured it out within 2%, which back then, that's nuts. Take that, flat earthers.
Dang, that's crazy. How?
Right. And he also developed latitude and longitude. So dude's pretty important.
Yeah.
None of that existed before. And so here's an early map.
Okay.
It's not exactly accurate, as you can see, but imagine. So my dad and I were talking about this. Like, even once you weren't landlocked anymore, and if you developed ships and started exploring, you're going around the coastline, looking at it, but then trying to duplicate all the little ins and outs, and it's no wonder. You know, there's no way they could be that accurate, but some of them are surprisingly pretty spot on. And
Really?
it's just like kind of mind blowing.
The whole process to me, because I love maps and I love staring at maps, and I always think about like, how do they do this? How do they know like where the crunchies are on the edge? Right.
Yes. It always makes me think of that, the painting we have of California, the silhouette, and you're just like, and it just kind of goes like this right here.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't have to be exact, but you know. And then we have the Fra Maru map.
From Maru.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, Fra Maru. I like that. And it was created by a monk around 1450. Now we've skipped a bit of time.
That's okay.
And we're going to have some big leaps here because, like I said, it goes deep. And they refer to these maps by their titles, and the titles are like 20 words long, and I'm just like, that's too much. That's too much. So this was created based on interviews with traveling merchants and is considered one of the finest pieces of medieval cartography in existence.
I want to so badly look inside. Like I need a magnifying glass
Yeah.
to see.
I'm sure there's details. We just can't see them. But you'll start to notice some of the things that we'll be talking about. We've got this nice border. This one is round, which
interesting.
got his compass out. And then we have like our little directional things.
Also,
and
I like the little it makes me think of like a treasure map because you had the little treasure map and then there'd be a little corner of like, I don't know, castle or like a little what do you call those things? Everybody here's been painting Nessie, like little Nessie or something.
Sea monsters. We'll get into that. So, okay, literally right now. So in medieval and Renaissance maps had sea monsters depicting treacherous terrain. So it was basically a symbol to let you know, like, maybe don't go there. And it could have been anything. Maybe there's like a drop off in the reef and the tide is weird, or maybe there's natives in an island that are going to attack you. It could be any number of things.
Ooh.
But you also have to think of, these are probably the days before glasses were a thing. And I'm sure people were not having the best eyesight.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking about things you're seeing off in the distance, and it's just a big old blob of whatever. So it makes sense why all these creatures kind of develop to explain what's going on or what that is.
Makes sense.
You can really see it.
That's true. That's so true.
All right. So this Wikipedia page is probably the most confusing one I've ever read.
Okay.
And I had to go to like just images to find something that made sense to me. The Mercator projection is like the most famous map, basically. This is where we start to see our world as we are more familiar with it in atlases and stuff in a flat. But basically what he did, you can see the first image here is the actual map. And it had 15 text boxes, including a dedication, a eulogy, greetings to the readers, comments on various localities, a copyright notice.
Okay.
Just like they put, here's everything we know about the world.
Yeah.
And put it on there. And a part of why they were doing such nice illustrations was because they had to hand make these maps.
Yeah.
And they wanted people to buy them. So they had to make them appealing and make them look good for people to want them. And in fact, it became such a popular thing to colorize your maps. You could sell the black and white version, and then you could sell the like primo one that was colored for more money.
Yeah.
But it also took way more time because you're hand coloring it.
Yeah.
But this diagram helps explain it the best I've seen so far. And it's basically, he did all this stuff to make this round thing go flat. The problem is a lot of the continents and stuff are kind of warped.
Yes.
As you get away from the equator, it becomes less accurate in terms of size. But this is what we're used to seeing.
Yes.
So what we're used to is not accurate.
Correct. Yeah. Also, I just want to say, like, back then, they should have had trifold. Like, I feel like you can fit in a backside, too. They could have stuck some of that information. Because I feel like some of it got blocked by, like, you can't even see America.
Right. Yeah. Who cares? Well, it was unexplored at that point. So it's just like, there's a landmass over here. So we don't know anything. We'll just put some text in a eulogy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have the Typus Orpus Terrarum. Yeah. The plan of the world's lands was first world map to be published in a modern standard atlas by Abraham Ortelius and was engraved by Franz Holgenberg in 1570.
Damn, look at Antarctica.
Yeah. They knew something was down there. They're like, it has to, balance the north, right? And so they're like, there's got to be some. It is, not.
It's like huge.
Not quite.
It's like what, next to Australia?
Yeah, right. It's giganimous. But you see, like, they're really starting to realize the continental shift at this point. You see how South America is like a puzzle piece to Africa, because that was the prevailing theory. And they're like, this is how we're going to illustrate it to make it really obvious. But you see lots of decorative motifs around the edges. We've got our longitude and latitude on here now.
Which I like. I feel like modern maps are missing the cool, fun, illustrative stuff that's around it.
Yes, the beauty of maps. Yeah. Yes. So we hit the Dutch Golden Age, and this is when exploration in general just really took off. And so cartography became a very important career, occupation.
Okay.
And we got very elaborate borders and illustrations. And here's a close-up example of one of the details. And this is from a map in 1680. And it's called Carts of Figures, however you really pronounce that in Dutch, but people, figures, things. were, just little scenes. And so here's this one.
Ooh, pretty.
As an example. And they embellished maps with everything. They did like the seasons, the elements. They knew about certain planets. They would put those on there. Just like I said, just dump info.
I think, okay, so like now we have infographics, which are cool and stuff. I like infographics. But again, I really miss these old-timey fun illustrations. And also, I wonder if it's because things were just so, like, everything at that time is like kind of new. And anytime you're like doing new stuff, there's always this kind of cool elements that they put into the new things. Like, oh my gosh, because it's just new.
It's novel, it's exciting. Yeah.
Now she's like, maps. Like,
maps are so utilitarian now that it's lost all of this artistry, which a lot of our stuff, because it's now mass produced. There's not an artist sitting down to like, do all these pretty things. And we start to see some of that transition happening. I've got one here from 1777. This is just the Boston Harbor.
Okay.
So we're starting to get more localized maps.
Okay.
More specific stuff. Local geography, roads, all that goodness. Speaking of roads, this one's just for Matt. The times, they are a-changin'. We have examples of the Thomas Guide. Once you're able to massively print things and produce, Thomas Guides were everywhere. For those of you who are too young to know, it was basically like having a phone book in your car with you at all times, so you can figure out where you're going, because there was no other way to know other than people telling you and you writing down directions and such.
Yep.
But these were brilliant. They were basically a personal little atlas for your area. Every gas station everywhere sold maps and Thomas Guides for their local area or the whole state or whatever.
It's kind of like that. They were always like combined with the Yellow Pages kind of situation.
Yes. Yes. I had to explain to my daughter what a phone book was the other day.
Rest in peace, phone books.
I know. I was like, it was a giant thing you used to put on your chair as a booster when you were little.
Yeah, they used to have them in the payphones, which don't exist anymore, but they were also in the payphones.
Yeah, with that like really thin paper. Yeah. So we got some examples of Thomas Guides, and I think this is really cool. We've got as far back as 1943. I didn't even know they were around that long.
My mom has one from Arkansas that I'll occasionally, every, 5 years, I'll look at it.
Yeah.
And it's just like her moving from Arkansas to come to California on like a Greyhound bus. But like, I don't know. It's just fun to look at that old stuff.
It is fun. And I'm pretty sure my dad had this exact copy, this 1998 Los Angeles County. He was a pool man for a while. And so I remember his pool truck, and in the Side was the Thomas Guide.
On that map quest.
And then we evolved. We got the internet. And we would print our maps like sophisticated people.
Good old map quest.
Good old map quest. So I never actually paid much attention to the map. Like, it was normally on the second page, and I would just throw that one away and keep the actual like turn by turn, because that was way more helpful as a navigation tool. And now we have our modern version of maps.
Looks like Waze.
It is Waze.
Okay.
It is, in fact, Waze. And I will say, at least Waze puts a little bit of thought into the design of the app. They have little icons and stuff that are cute, and you can choose your avatar.
Yeah,
your car.
okay.
You can change your car.
That's
I remember Lee had like a zombie car for a while. Yeah, it's fun, right? It gives you something meaningful and artistic related to it, but it's also very helpful. I don't know about you. I can know where I'm going. I'll still pop it in my GPS just so I know what the traffic's going to be like.
Yeah.
And I think we've all become pretty lazy when it comes to maps.
Yeah.
Because it's just this now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I was on a wave in with Yoshi, one of our coworkers, and he was asking me about like my last graphic design type jobs.
Okay.
That I've had in the past. And so I was talking about Evertech and how I used to, make graphics for like a Lenovo laptops and GPSs. And I was like, back when people bought GPSs, and he stopped and he's like, yeah, because I had to stop and think what you were talking about because I was thinking him. My phone, question mark. I was like, no, they used the tom-tom, you know?
Yep, plug it into the cigarette lighter. Yeah. Oh, man. The good old days. And there was no live traffic updates at all. It just had it in the memory. And I mean, they were great. They were exciting when they came out. We didn't have to print anymore.
Yeah, right.
And it was like, ooh, I got a GPS.
Yeah,
like,
it was. Oh my gosh,
it was like getting a tricked out stereo. You know?
You were a high rolling back then.
Oh, so good. So good. So I have this one. I in my Mercator trying to figure that out, I came across this one. So this is our most accurate world map currently. And it's Jaime Narukawa. And this was developed in 1999. And it shows at the bottom here, it's laying it out differently so that the sizes are more accurate. And you'll see the continents are kind of shifted instead of like flat, which is a better, more accurate representation. You can see the size of things more accurately. Like South America is quite large.
Dude, okay, so this was back in 1992, but now there's a website and and you can click a state or a country or whatever, and you can drag it and it'll give you the actual, like, it morphs to the real size, so you can see like how big Washington is next to, and you'll see like how it's just jumbo like, to France or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it's really interesting to see how jumbo things are or how small things are relative to each other.
North America, which was a completely unexplored territory for a lot of these old maps, is massive.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was actually watching a little clip of a guy who is like, everybody complains about Americans not being well-traveled, blah, 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 blah.
Same, yeah.
They don't need to.
They don't need to.
They don't need to. We have so much.
Yeah.
It's like Europeans have to go to a different country. It can be 20 minutes away. But we've got
you'll drive hours and
everything.
You'll still be in the same state here.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got everything, every kind of land formation, climate, like,
yeah,
we're doing pretty good.
Right?
And of course, any discussion of maps would not be complete without my favorite kind of maps.
I have this in my home. I'm sure you do.
I do as well. I do as well. But we got to have our fantasy maps, right? Nothing is better than a book with a map in the front.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, I just, even before you start reading, you're just studying the map. You don't know what any of these places are yet.
You're like,
and I cannot tell you. And this is the thing I dislike about ebooks. My Kindle's nice. I can download a book at 2 a.m, not have to worry about the store not being open, but you can't flip back. And I would flip back to the map so often.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah. So we got our Middle Earth.
Let's go.
Thank you, Tolkien. And it's so stylized. Like, this style has been applied to a lot of things over the years because he just had this really cool way of illustrating his map.
Nice.
His world. Then we have his buddy, C.S. Lewis. We got some Narnia in here. And again, we've got our fancy borders.
And, it just helps you with the imagination of things. Like, it's, even though they're fantasy myths,
especially a made-up thing, right? Like, it gives you a ground, a basis to build off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I only included the North, but we got some Westeros here.
Nice.
That was one that I really had to, like, go back to a lot. And then in the Song of Ice and Fire books, in the back, it has all the houses and, like, who's part of what house.
Oh, okay.
And it's so funny because from book to book, the information in the back changes.
Really?
Because you learn different things about the characters.
Oh,
so
nice.
that's, some of my favorite maps. And then, of course, this is the best thing ever. It is all the fantasy universes put together as if they were in the same world.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like mind blowing. I'm like, that could actually be a thing. It could.
Oh my gosh.
Think of how different our cultures are from place to place throughout the world. Middle Earth could be next to Oz.
Yeah.
Why not?
Wow. No, I'm like seeing this for the first time, so I'm really soaking.
This is such a cool map.
Never Neverland's good.
Yeah, right?
Okay. That
And
place was
Lily
nice.
put for Gulliver's Travels. We got Wonderland, Whoville.
Wait, where's Whoville?
Right here. Next to Mordor. So and the Grinch. Not that far from Sauron.
Dang, that's crazy. This is really
Isn't
cool.
it cool?
Yeah.
It's like the best map. So now that we've really enjoyed looking at a map,
We're going to take a beat and talk about Purple Easel.
Hey, that's where we work.
That's where we work. That's where we is. This one is from a few months ago, but I pulled up this review because I thought it was perfect. It says, Danielle P. says, I've been to this location several times, and it's always a pleasant experience. Booking online is easy to reserve your spot and pay. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Simply find a painting that you want to attend and a date and time that fits your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They provide everything once you arrive. You can bring your own snacks and drinks, and they have some available for purchase.
Mm-hmm.
The staff is always awesome, very friendly and patient. The instructors are knowledgeable and fun. I enjoyed this visit with my youngest daughter as she's very interested in painting. We plan to come back more often.
Let's go.
It's really perfect. It's all the things.
It is.
We do make it easy to sign up for classes. We've got, not only can you find paintings for a time that works for you, you can subscribe to PE Plus and do whatever painting whenever you want, including 2 a.m, if that's your thing. If you're like me and our producer, Matt, that's when you do your best work.
No, it's so true. We do provide a lot. I think people get surprised. They're like, oh, wait. Okay, do I have to bring aprons? We're like, no, there's that. Do we have to bring brushes? Like, no, we got you. Like, especially when they're coming for a private party, they're like, oh, so we just bring the food essentially.
Yes,
like,
food and whatever decorations you want.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And I love that. I love that we can kind of customize an experience. We've done specific paintings for people. If they didn't like anything from our catalog, we can
Make like
arrange
a
for them to have
big
extra
canvas
time.
to a small one.
Yeah, absolutely. We can modify things from a landscape to a portrait or vice versa. We have a lot of flexibility. And I think that's the beauty of being a small business is we're not tied down.
And
We
I
can do the
think
things.
That's why we're the world's largest.
And the best.
Just
saying. We are such dorks. I love us. All right. So the reason we've gone through a very brief overview of cartography history is so I can introduce you to today's artist,
Oh, okay.
Ed Fairburn.
Ooh.
And I'm so excited to spotlight him because, oh my gosh, this work.
Let me just tell you, I love cross-hatching so much. I don't think anybody knows this, but I wanted to be like the best cross-hatcher back in high school.
Such aspirations. That's awesome. Yeah, cross-hatching very, very handy, especially when you're doing black and white work and you just need different values.
Yeah.
It's so clean though. My cross-hatching is so sloppy.
I don't know. I don't think it is.
Compared to this, I think it is. This is like the
No, this is very, very, very clean.
So detailed. Oh man, I just love it. All right. So here is another.
So are these real maps?
So they are actual maps.
Ooh, okay.
And he is basically creating portraits or illustrations on the maps,
Oh, cool.
but allowing the roads and the lines to be a part of it.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Right?
This is like custom work. Like, let's say like your grandmother died and she was from
Yes.
Dearborn, Michigan or something.
Yeah.
Then
You can get your grandma in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, it's brilliant. I don't know why aren't more people doing this?
This is cool.
This is so cool. One, he can print maps if he really wanted to, but let's use up all these old maps that aren't even accurate anymore. Right? Like, if you got them floating around, why not?
Ooh,
And here's
so this
a
is
close-up.
Jeepers.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
But the way the brain must work in order to like let that kind of fade away and get your picture on there, but also then constrain it into these little shapes that are created by all the lines.
The values are really valuing.
Yes, they are valuing.
Yes. You know, I feel like if it were me, I would have to like draw the like sketchy sketch and then start
Kinda
rendering
simper
and then just
oppose
kind of
it.
erase like some of the, but they're so thin, you really can't do that.
Right.
So he's working really in between the spaces.
It's amazing. He's letting that negative space breathe. And it's just, I don't see that anywhere else.
Lord. This is really
right?
cool.
Now you know why we're here, why we are mapping today.
Ooh, this is cool.
I knew you'd like this one. It's got that
Wiggly,
topographic map feel, but it's almost like a visual illusion a little bit because the lines change direction or the value changes just enough to give you the sense of person.
I love it.
Yes. And even this, like it's a climate map.
That's really cool. It's
Right?
so artsy.
It's so artsy and it just works. Like I am not bothered that there's a lake in the middle of her head. Like it's okay.
I don't know. It
fits.
works.
And these like dark red splotches and the pink spot. It's just so cool that he is incorporating it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
And is just like,
Who would have thought of this?
he did. He did. Ed Fairburn. What a brilliant guy.
Oh, this is cool.
So this one in particular, I don't know. It does something to me. I might have to see about trying to get a print because
I wonder.
I almost want to cry looking at it because this such a strong red line and the way that she is kind of downcast.
Yeah.
It's like she's broken or she's breaking. And it almost gives like, remember when we had, I think it was Sydney Swisher that kind of pixelated. It kind of gives that feeling like it's either being put together or taken apart or I don't know. It speaks to me though.
You know, it's really cool because it's to me, it feels like a missing a home kind of situation wherever this location is. This person is a part of that location and then they miss it, or maybe they grew up in that area. That's kind of like the story that I'm reading. Also, I really like how the lips really, like the map and the lips.
Yeah.
And the thing is the lips, it looks like it ends, but then your mind creates like the chin that is the rest of the map.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
These kind of implied lines that you don't need it spelled out for you. It's there. And then the detail in the like eyelashes and everything is just brilliant. And I love that you can see the folds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was
like
just thinking
as an artist trying to render it, it would probably drive me crazy. Like I would try to get rid of that line, but I love it. I love that it's there. You know, this is a map and it was used and it was folded and
it's part of like the whole picture.
It is.
The aesthetic of it.
It is. And these little decisions just make it.
So cool.
Keanu, he did for Lionsgate's poster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the John Wick 4, I believe. I mean, we're seeing more color in this one, but again, it's so perfect. It just works. The little hints of red and the blue. I can't get over his work.
This is so cool.
It's so cool. Like I could stare at these for hours because you could stare at a map forever anyway, right? And now you've got this whole other element.
That's so true.
Ooh. And then our favorite pose here at Spotlight, the over the shoulder, Diane Gall kind of situation.
I like how it's incompleted.
Me too. That dip like right over the eye. And he has to make these decisions, right? Like, what area is he actually going to draw in? How much of it is it going to, how close up? Like this is bringing like cropping and composition to a completely different level. And I love that you can see all of the like information along the side. It's so cool. Why is it so cool for you?
No, it's really, really awesome. Again, like you're saying, I could stare at this for so long.
So long. It was so hard to choose images. Like I screenshotted a bajillion. I'm like, I gotta cut it down. Like, what do we really want to look at? And I just,
this is it's very nice because it's curvy. Like everything about it is very curvy.
It is
The lakes,
very curvy.
the roads.
I like that you can see the compass rose, that we're getting more of a body in this one. That's super cool. The detail in the hair. Oh my God.
And it kind of makes it look too that she's ginormous because of the map.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but like obviously no one's that big, but it makes her like a giant.
It does. It does give a sense. And she's kind of looming, right? Like she gives this sense of importance. And of course, if there's anything Beatles related, I'm going to include it. And we have John Lennon on a map of Liverpool. Because, come on.
Because of course. Love that the water's like...
Yes. Like all these tiny little decisions. And I'm appreciating like all the details. And I hope that everybody else who sees his work is fascinated as I am. I think this is beyond brilliant. I don't know how his brain can possibly work to do this stuff. It's insane. So kudos. We love it.
Yes, 1000%. So good.
You really need to go to the Instagram though and check it out. And you can see the reels. It's just his name. Okay. Yeah. And you can see him. Okay. Yes, you can see him filling in the little area. Oh, it's just great.
Okay.
It's great. It's so good. So that brings us to our discussion.
Okay. Maps. Okay.
What's the future? What do you like? What do you don't like? What's your favorite map?
Fantasy maps. I have a lot. So I decorate. So every time Ian gets, my fiance, he gets like the collector's editions of any game that he gets.
Yeah.
Usually comes with a map almost always.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, I'd hang up all of them because I love staring at them. But so far we just have like Final Fantasy 16, Resident Evil 4, I can't remember which Resident Evil, and a few other maps. Obviously, we have Middle Earth, but he has so many maps that I just want. I feel like there's more I'm just missing, but
yeah.
So I like to decorate with maps. I like to see them, and I like looking at them. So the future of maps, though,
yeah,
I don't think they'll. You will always
GPS,
have to.
right?
You'll always have to have a handheld map. I feel like even in the future.
In case of the apocalypse.
Exactly, yeah.
The zombies come and the satellites go down.
Yeah.
We're going to need them. It's super funny, though, because my daughter, we were hiking and she was playing Zelda at the time. So everything was Zelda. And she's pretending to go through the woods. Like, I think I hear monsters. Do you hear monsters? And she's like, I think we need to go this way. Let me check my map. And she does this. And I had this moment of, you've never seen a paper map in your life. Why are you doing this to look at a map? And I'm like, she's used to the map in the corner of Zelda. I'm just like, how do you even, why? Because you see all those videos, right? Like, how do you answer the phone? And we're all like this. And then Gen Z's like,
that's weird, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, why are you holding like this?
She's still... So, yeah, there's something to be said about paper maps.
Yeah.
And, like, the treasure map, the adventure, think of Goonies. Like, there's something special about maps. And I hope at least, if nothing else, fantasy authors from now into the end of time are creating pretty maps for us.
Yes. No, they should. I mean... To create even a video game, you do have to have a map because you need to
lay it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, all the programming aspect of it, you got to have a map. You know, and it's fun. And video games is you unlock the map as you go. So there's parts that are hidden.
And you know, there's one thing also in video games that I do like Grand Theft Auto or whatever game. They will take the map from existing like Los Angeles or whatever it is and kind of tweak it a little bit. But you can find those same like streets in the video game. I think is really nice.
I think it was so cool. We got the booster pass for Mario Kart. And there's like all these different cities and you can drive through all these different cities. Now, I don't know how accurate they are to the actual maps, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm driving through Tokyo right now. Like, heck yes. Vero
nice.
Maps, very underrated.
Yes.
But
lovely episode. I loved it. Thank you very much for enlightening me.
I'm glad. I thought maybe it was going to be a little dry, so I'm glad that it worked
not at all.
out and that you were as enthusiastic about Ed Fairburn's work as I am, because
Amazing.
So speaking of, make sure to check out more work from Ed Fairburn. Visit his Instagram. You can check out the links below for our artists. And if you want to learn more about map history, Google.
And make sure to visit purpleeasel.com to paint with the world's largest paint and sip studio online.
If you're in Southern California, we want to see you. Come by the studio, come paint with us. But in the meantime, create more and create often.
Bye.